So how do you go poop in the woods? Hi everybody, my name's Rob and this is Stormcrow Overland, where we talk about going on adventures, road trips, camping, and just generally getting out and enjoying life. Now on this week's episode, we're going to talk about how to go to the bathroom when you're camping in places that don't have bathrooms. If you're going to a state park or a lot of, camping at actual established campgrounds, national forests, and stuff like that, there's going to be usually some kind of bathroom option. You're going to have, drop toilets or porta potties or something. But if you get far enough out and you're, kind of more off grid, more dispersed camping, you're going to get in those situations where there's not a bathroom where you're camping. And sometimes those are the best campsites because there's no people around. And you're really far out there. If it is just me and I'm by myself, I have a shovel that I keep on the back of my 4Runner on the roof rack that is, it's there for in case the vehicle gets stuck, but it also is excellent for digging a hole to take care of your business in. And if that is your preferred method of taking care of business, just as a reminder, if you didn't know, went and double checked, and according to Tread Lightly, you should make sure you dig your hole 6 to 9 inches deep. Make sure you are 200 feet away from campsite, trail, water source, that kind of stuff. And then when you're done, make sure you kind of cover it back up. Kind of want to make sure you can't even tell that the ground was disturbed. You throw some leaves on top too. But the whole digging a hole method is not for everybody. And even for me, sometimes there's situations where it may not work. If you're out dispersed camping somewhere with no bathrooms, and normally you would just dig a hole and squat over it and take care of business, that's great until you're dispersed camping with a group of people. If you're out with a handful of other rigs and some other people, it's not the most discreet way to take care of business. And plus, if I have someone like my wife with me or my kid with me, they're not down for the whole method. They're not going to be out taking a shovel when it's bathroom time. And I was doing some research, trying to figure out how I was going to solve this problem. This is how I try to normally approach gear and modifications to the vehicle and stuff like that: is find a problem, then fix the problem. So I identified my problem. That was I needed a better way to handle business in the backwoods than just digging a hole. So I started looking, talking to some of my buddies. Good buddy of mine, he uses it's called a luggable loo, and it's basically the toilet seat that fits on like a 5-gallon bucket like I'm sitting on now. And that's great, but he has a pickup truck, and bucket takes up a lot of space, but it just lives in the back of the truck, and you put bags in you don't just go take care of, you don't just do things in the bucket. Put bags down, clean the bag, take the bags out. But I didn't want to have to carry around a whole 5-gallon bucket. That seems kind of, it's a waste of space. It's just oddly shaped. So then I saw, seemed like a lot of people were using this one. You've probably seen it before. Kind of folds them to like a gray square. It's kind of a toilet seat that you can put a bag on, and it's got 3 legs, and some people like it, and some people think it's not very stable. I looked at it. It's like, okay, maybe I'll get that. And then I was just browsing on Amazon trying to find something that would work that I thought would be about right. And I found this. It's by a company called Heytrip. It's probably on Amazon under a bunch of different names. But it's a fold-up toilet seat that's got a mildly padded seat on it, a way to attach bags. And it came with, actually came with 2 rolls of these supposedly 100% biodegradable bags. I'm not real sure what I think of these bags yet. I like the fact that they're biodegradable. I'm not sure about, they just seem a little thin. Material just seems a little weird, but they seem pretty strong too. I've tried pulling on them and stretching it. Seems like good material. But what I'm probably going to do is invest in this other brand I've heard of. I've heard other people talk about. Pretty sure it's called double duty bags, and it's basically like a big Ziploc bag with a closure that's inside of another big Ziploc bag with a closure, so that everything gets nice and sealed up and no chance of spilling while you take whatever you put in the bag to wherever its final resting place is going to be. in case you weren't sure if you are in the backwoods and you're going to use something like this or a luggable loo or the other fold up, any kind of portable toilet thing. You do your business in the bag, tie the bag up, and then you have to take it with you. You have to pack out what you packed in and find somewhere to dispose of it. Seems like general consensus is normally just a regular trash bag, but like I said, make sure your stuff's sealed up and maybe even double bagged just to make sure it won't leak or mess anybody or don't want to ruin someone's day. I just thought I'd show you the one that I did pick up though. It's pretty simple. It's a small toilet seat on a little frame. It's got this weird little plastic circle that kind of helps hold the bag in place when you got the bag there. So that's nice. Seat is definitely smaller than a regular seat. Um, Kind of a weird subject, but as a guy, and not a small guy by any means, so this seat's a little on the small side. I don't know if I could go number one and number two at the same time on this. I may have to take care of number one first, like on a tree or a bush somewhere, and come and do number two here. But that's kind of neither here nor there. Kind of a weird deal. It's got a little clip-on thing for a toilet paper roll that just clips on. I always keep a full roll of toilet paper in the back of my rig, even if I'm not going camping or anything. It lives in there. I've got a tiny dry bag that I got from Walmart that fits a roll of toilet paper just perfect. It's always in there just in case. So you never know, you're gonna be on the side of the road and really need toilet paper, or it would suck if you got to work and work was out of toilet paper or whatever. It's good to have. Speaking of toilet paper, whether you're doing the dig a hole method or any of these other methods we talk about, make sure, same deal, get up. You don't want to bury the toilet paper. It doesn't break down the same. So you want to make sure you bag it, pack it out too, even if you're digging a hole. So you're going to be stuck with a bag of nastiness one way or another, but it's just how it goes. It's part of it. And then with the seat, last little part I was going to show you, it's kind of nice because it folds up. It gets relatively small. For $25-$30 on Amazon, pretty neat deal, especially considering the fact that it came with a whole bunch of these bags that I may or may not use. I'm not sure still. But like I said, it's kind of nice. Doesn't take up a ton of room. Obviously, I'm not going to take it on every trip because I generally have a pretty good idea where I'm going to be staying. But it'll be really nice if I'm going into a situation where I know I'm going to need it. It'd be nice to finally have something. The only thing I really need to add to this is some kind of privacy shelter. Obviously, I would really like one of those nice kind of shower style ones that go up on your roof rack and have the arms that fold out and do the little cube. And those are nice, and they're not really that expensive. But I'm not sure how often I'd really need it, and I don't know if I really need all that weight and stuff on my vehicle all the time. So I'll probably just end up getting one of the cheap, instant pop-up little privacy shelters. They're nice and cheap. It'll be enough to get the job done. And this is going to sound weird, so don't judge me. But I'm kind of looking forward to going out and getting to a nice, far away dispersed campsite and using this with no privacy shelter and taking care of business with a wonderful view. Somehow it just sounds really relaxing. Just sounds like a nice way to take care of business. I know that was weird. I don't care. But sorry, this episode's probably a little on the short side. It's been a busy week. I wanted to make sure I got something out and recorded for y'all. Just had a lot going on. We had Rigs and Coffee over the weekend. It was outstanding. If you're in the Oklahoma City area, please come out. It's the second Saturday of the month at You Can Camp Campers in Edmond. Great crowd. I don't know, 30, 40 rigs probably is what we had this time. Really nice variation of stuff. We had Jeeps and Toyotas and had some full-size pickups, and I'm trying to think. Some old military Jeeps showed up. Two guys in vans that they had converted and axle swapped and lifted. One was a full-size like conversion van that was set up for off-road. Another one was a little GMC Safari minivan that had four-wheel drive, solid front axle, dual shocks. It was awesome. It just neat stuff like that. Um, had an amazing old Land Cruiser showed up. I want to say it was an 80 series, but I'm not an expert on those. But it was fully decked out to the nines and everything you could imagine on it. Forerunners, Tacomas, like I said, Nissans, a little bit of everything. Great crowd. Everybody was super nice. Kind of going around. Most of the people kind of know each other a little bit, so it's nice to once a month get together, kind of catch up. Hey, what do you got? What have you been doing? What do you got coming up? And it's just neat to see other people's rigs. I had a great discussion with there was another guy there with a 4th gen V8 4Runner that had converted a much cheaper Land Cruiser 100 series snorkel to fit on his, and those are like a fourth of the price of the ones that are actually made for this 4Runner. They're like $100 instead of $400, and had a great discussion with him about how he had made it fit and what he would do different next time and how it all worked. And then other things, we and him were just talking, durability wise, what if you had to replace, what is worn out, or what other problems have you seen? I've been a little concerned about water crossings and the alternator because it's down so low. But we talked about some of the water crossings he had done and hadn't had a problem, so who knows? But just fun stuff like that. It was great to visit with everybody. And then next month in June, we're going to do the Rigs and Coffee. Then we're going to go do the Sugar Creek Loop cleanup. If you live in Central Oklahoma or you're going to be in the area the second weekend in June, look it up. I'll make sure there's a link down in the description that we're doing. There's a really neat trail that was set up by Jared from West OK Overland, and his group is on Facebook is Sooner State Overland. Set up a really neat trail out there. It's got a lot of trash on it sometimes though, so we're going to go out as many rigs as we can, go pick up a bunch of trash, and then afterwards go out and camp. We're going to camp that night. It'll probably be a little hot, but the plan is to go camp at Fort Cobb, WMA, depending on how many rigs we're going to have. If it looks like we're going to have a lot of rigs, like more than 5 or 6, I don't know the exact number for sure, but if it looks like we have a lot of people, we'll probably have to give up and just go back to Red Rock Canyon Adventure Park, which is a great place, but we go there a lot. So, but they have room for lots of rigs, and they have a really good spot for us, and they're a great place to deal with. So one of those two we're gonna do one of those two, and we have door prizes for the trail cleanup. The idea is we're going to go out, and anybody that takes a picture and uses the hashtag that I give them will be entered in it for a chance to win a door prize. We've got prizes from Onyx Off-Road. They sent a really cool hat that says clean trash and haul ass. They sent a 1-year membership, premium membership gift card. Tate from Overland Spices sent over a whole, what they call the convoy. It's one of each of their spices. He sent that over. Someone local here from I believe she's part of one of the other organizations here, but either way, a really nice lady offered to donate one of the Napa spare tire trash carrier bags. It's kind of like a Trasharoo style thing. We got one of those. Jared that I mentioned from West OK Overland maybe donating some prizes. Fred Lightly is sending some stuff out, and we may have some really cool news with that later, depending on how things go and if things get approved. But either way, they're sending some neat stuff out. Right now we've got 11 people that have said they're going on Facebook. I hope so, because I really hope we don't have more prizes than people going, and we're getting kind of close to that. So, like I said, if you're in Central Oklahoma, check that out. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the comments for the Facebook event, which is Sugar Creek Loop Cleanup. I'm really just kind of rambling now, so I probably should just go ahead and close this out. But if you're watching this on YouTube, just realize we release the audio as a podcast as well. You can find it wherever good podcasts are found. Just search Stormcrow Overland. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, you can also find the video on YouTube where you can see the things that I'm actually telling you that I'm pointing at and all that. I know this doesn't always work out great as a podcast, but I'm trying. But you can find us on YouTube, Stormcrow Overland. And finally, you can also find me on Instagram at Stormcrow Overland. And with any of those, the podcast, the YouTube, the Instagram, I would greatly appreciate if you like what you're seeing. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, any of that kind of stuff. Send me a message. If there's any kind of content you want to see, or if you got any questions, criticisms, anything like that, send me a message. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But other than that, sometimes you have to go out and get lost, and maybe go to the bathroom before you can find yourself. Thanks for watching.